songs if I can and record a few recaps. Cause I had students today and I don't want to have a relapse of not doing what I said I was gonna do in the beginning. You know, I just spent like 45 minutes of my time trying to figure out technology and to no avail. Very bummed out. I am very much looking forward to the time when I know how to use technology and then give what I already have up here so you too can enjoy it. I love music so much and I love chit chatting with people as well, which is why music communities are pretty cool. So if you have any questions about what I do on this channel or where I'm going, ask. If you support this and a middle-aged man following his dream, it's really weird to become a musician at 45 when I've taken my whole life to learn music theory, composition, playing with other people, how to run sound, how to run lights, how to be a recording artist, how to run a recording studio. The long story short is technology is always the hardest part of everything that I've ever done musically. When you have somebody that believes you and helps you get through that portion of what you don't understand, it means the world. So if you are somebody who is a musician and can help somebody that doesn't understand the technical aspect of it, my goodness, reach out to people. Remember that people have a learning curve. I'm 45. I'm not supposed to be a dummy, but I am. So the whole idea behind this is if I had somebody that would show me how to at least get the videos and the photos off of my iPhone onto the computer without losing them, it would free up space, which means I wouldn't have to pay $2 every time I need more storage and then delete photos and stuff. It's just, it breaks my brain that I deal with stuff like this. And I call these Charlie issues. Has anybody watched It's Always Sunny in, what is it, Philadelphia? There's something called Charlie issues because every time Charlie and Danny DeVito's character Frank go to bed, they eat like cat food and then throw the cat food out the window. And then they gotta get to sleep before the cats come. And then that's a whole ordeal. And it was pointed out to them that these aren't normal people problems. These are problems that they derive. These are people problems that they've derived that have nothing to do with that. So most people live their whole life with Charlie problems, where the problems you have are only your issues because you make them. And what I've realized is when you stop trying to think about everything all the time, life is easier. It becomes much easier just to function. So that is how I teach music. I've broken down the idea of living in the Western world and trying to beat everything into submission and say, this is the clay image of what it is and everything's born with a flaw. That's the whole idea of the Western world. I'd rather adopt the Eastern mysticism that says, hey, I'm not born with a flaw. In fact, I'm not born in this world. I'm born of this world. I am the great explosion, the Big Bang. I am music. I am you. We is. This is. It always will be. And whether you choose to believe in one thing or another, if you believe in music as the thing that makes you happy, I'm here for you. I just gotta say, I wish I knew how to work my Mac. I wish I knew how to get these things off, but fun times are around the corner. This channel is growing exponentially. If you like this nonsense, please put something cool in the comment section. What up, Wook? How you doing today, Mark? The ukulele taught me peace. I'm digging that from what you and I talked about. I won't divulge any of that. The ukulele does bring peace. It allows us to write and do things that we normally wouldn't have been able. Explain how the Big Bang happened. There's several hypotheses about how the Big Bang. Can we put this to music? Give me a key. How about E minor? A minor? Now I know 3 special keys that have A minor and E minor in them. I could even use F major, which I could play it as a flat 7. I don't know, I would say in Newtonian physics that what I've learned about the Big Bang, if what we just discovered is correct, that we are actually in a universe that is inside of a black hole, it would explain a lot of why Newtonian physics doesn't add up. Also, the basic construction of quantum physics and how we argue about string possibility and then quantum flux, whether it's a wavelength going wah 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 wah, or if it's actually some sort of string analysis where it's in vibration, but it's more like, and the two types of thinking lead us to more educated thought. So as long as you're on the same level and you don't take yourself too serious, learn music, learn science, learn math, learn languages, learn how to communicate, get therapy, help your neighbor. You know, why burn down bridges? Why not build bridges? So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm taking some time out of my schedule to not think. Why? All I do all day long is think, 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 think. Whether with a hammer, trying to figure out how to build something or break something down, and then build it up again, or with music, trying to explain something like the circle of fifths. So I just feel like playing some music and help other people out there. If you dig it, subscribe. Other than that, name a song, I'll play it for you. And super chat me. I would love for you to give me your money. Of course I could use it. In fact, we don't really spend any of the money here. It just goes into a bank account. And as soon as there's enough in that bank account, we're gonna try and open up a music community center where I live. I live in Hawaii. It's very nice here. I would say that anybody who follows along with this journey and wants to come out this way, be a tourist, or meet the folks behind the channel, maybe it could be fun. $14 billion years ago, in the middle of nothing, because nothing is derived from something, there might have been a little bitty explosion that went like, and then millions of years later people showed up because single-celled prokaryote cells that were uniformly one type of being turned into another, and here we are. Floating in space to nothing, and eventually everything you know will turn to dust, and then goo, and then rocks, and then lava, and then air, then hydrogen, and possibly helium, and then it goes again. And that's the way it works. Common tone change to A major using circle of fifths. Moving between chords doesn't have to be so weird unless you want it to. Then again, that's pretty cool. And science and math and music are all the same, so things that you went through like in high school, if you don't remember them, you can always go back and learn them. Let's try that again. You know, I've wanted to write a children's book about stuff. Do you have cigarette box guitar? No. I once made one, but that was when I was a boy. No, I don't have a cigarette box guitar. I have this old ukulele that I really enjoy. If anybody is sponsored, knows how to get sponsored, put it out there. Long story short is throw a chord out there. Anybody want to see how to write a song? Anybody? We got A minor. We already did a song for the Big Bang from Mr. Jack. Thanks for being here, buddy guy. Oh, Axolotl. How you doing, dude? Or I can't read. Axolotl. Axolotl? Axolotl? Is that a lizard? Do I have a cigarette box guitar? Nay. Nay, say I. I do have this little ook, which I enjoy. never tried that one before. Hey, has anybody out there try to shred on the ook? What does that mean? Like rake picking? Here, I'll grab a pick. Does that work too? I don't even know. How would I even shred? I don't know. Just usually when I'm shredding on guitar, I mean, I gotta tell you, the shredding on guitar is not that too terribly hard. You just plug into a loud amp and you use some maybe diminished runs. Anyway, does anybody want to learn how to play a song? Does anybody else? Oh, there's Wookie. How you doing? I'm trying to decipher the sharps from the majors. Decipher by ear. Any guidance? Pick one string on your ook and then go up in sharps and learn what the sharp is for the flat. Sometimes chords and names of notes have two identities. Like when we play the lowest string on the ukulele, it's called the C. If we take our first finger and we play that first fret, pointy or flat, either one, I would suggest pointy. It's like right into there, gets a big old strong calculus for it. We would call that C sharp. Since our musical alphabet only has the 7 tones, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There isn't an H, as we know, so we say C to C sharp, then it goes to D, then to D sharp, E, E sharp. Now watch me now. F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, B sharp. When I say B sharp, I'm all the way back at C. Which must mean that that octave or that P8, that perfect unison between one frequency, which is going at one wavelength, developing a peak and developing a trough. The other note that is up higher from there, no matter what that is, C, C. And where's the other one? C. These are compound A's. So when we have these wavelengths, it's the same peak and trough. That wavelength is just moving faster, which causes our ear to vibrate differently. Ta-da. So when we go up and we say blah, 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 as sharps, then we do them backwards, calling them flats. C, C flat. That was a B. When we do this one, when we go down to a B flat, we then go to, yeah, you see it, A flat, G. I feel like I'm in a fish song now. G flat, F. F flat, now watch me now. E flat, D, D flat, C. When we're deciphering this through the eyes of a scale, we would do whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. That's a great thing to say out loud. Do it with me now. Whole, 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 half. Whole, 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 half. Whole, 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 whole. We have 2 whole steps and a half step, 3 whole steps and a half step. That gives us our spelling of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Those notes, if you learn how to play them and see them, F flat is E, isn't it? There you go. As well as B sharp is C. This here is a B. When you move it forward a half step, you get C. Most people don't make that connection that the C that they learn here doesn't have to be the only C you'll ever play. You can play C, you can play C sus. You can play C, you can play C sus. You can play C, you can play C sus. You can play it all over this thing. It's called an inversion. It simply takes the 3 notes of a triad and moves one of them, which is the lowest tone, and puts it somewhere else. You still have the same 3 letters that make up your dyads, but now you've switched around where the positioning or the tertiary harmonies lie. And if all that's over your head, no worries. You don't have to know it to have fun with music. And if you do want to know that stuff, subscribe to this channel. Throw a couple bucks in my jar. As I was saying, we take donations. What I'd really like is rather than just like random money. If I play a song that you like or you watched one of my other videos and you're like, oh, yeah, this helps, then throw a bone my way, brah, or sister. Other than that, I'm here to help answer any questions. If you're like my buddy here, Wookie, if when you're a member and you have a green name, I devote special attention to you in every one of my videos. That's just how it is. Other than that, Team Ohaka. I'll just call you Axis, or Alex. Yeah, F flat. So if I did like F flat, G flat, A flat, B double flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat. It's all the same nonsense. I just named that with a double flat because there's only one flat in the key of F. So when we go smarsh, 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 weather, when we move it up a half step, F, G, A, B flat. In F flat, you have to have B double flat. Hence, you have a new term. Groovy, I'm great that did. So when you do it like this, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. The whole idea about doing that is it breaks your brain and then you realize, oh yeah, okay, E flat is a D sharp. These are called enharmonic equivalencies. So rather if you're going like C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, it's all the same stuff. D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C. The only two notes you don't say as flats in the key of D flat are the two notes that are sharps in the key of D major, which is why I teach every one of my students this. These are my pants. That's right, folks. We're going to the board. That's right, board. We're going to the board. So here's a basic breakdown. I might answer some questions in this, but if you're watching this right now, good for you. Unless you're like under the age of 18, and then shouldn't you be in school? What are you doing? This is called the circle of fifths. When we write out notes going in 5 notes away, we achieve 7 keys that deal with sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 key that has no sharps and flats. It is neutral. Gee golly whiz, I need to turn this again. I'm not writing backwards. Oh good, there's a glare. Everybody freeze. So when we have our circle of fifths, we're counting 5 notes up. If you have 5 fingers, and I hope you do, why don't you put them up with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C, D, E, F, G. When we say G, we know G has 1 sharp because the key of C major has no sharps and no flats. When we go to the key of G, it has 1 sharp. That sharp presides on the top line, and we call it F sharp because the keys that this is in, that I'm giving you the information on, is in the treble clef. When we write a treble clef, you have that, right? Well, the treble clef is otherwise known as the G clef. When you get rid of the top, you're left with a lowercase letter of G. Hence, any note that you find on this line, that's a G note. So, one of the things we want to do is we want to be able to figure out that G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. G major has 1 sharp. That sharp is F sharp. So when you're playing in the key of C major, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, D, E, F, G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. When we go 5 notes from G, G, A, B, C, D. D now has 2 sharps. One of them is the F sharp from G, and the next one is C. So when we see a key signature that has that first sharp, but also has a sharp on G, A, B, C, we know that we're in the key of D, and thusly we would spell D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, sharp, D. When we do this, it lays out what our circle is. A major, of course, has F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. When we go to E, we have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. When we hit B, F sharp, C sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and A sharp. And then when we hit F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp. And then when we hit C sharp, you have all the sharps. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and then to B sharp. And it's really weird to see these keys, but once you do it, you got it forever. And here's what I always show the kids that I teach. If you know only your sharps and you're playing a song in the key of blah, 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 you can say how many notes are there in a scale. At least the diatonic scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If we say, hey, D, how many sharps does the key of D have, folks? And we're like, 2. Remove that. How many flats does D flat have? 5. You can look at the scale after you write it, but you're always going to get this equation. F has 1 flat, that flat is B flat. The next note right next to it is B flat, then E flat, then A flat. The enharmonic equivalences that we were talking about is the C sharp. This is called the circle of 4, and this is called the circle of 5. We name this the circle of fifths, not the circle of fourths, because there's something wrong in our reality where we don't name it what they actually are. We shorten things, which is nuts. So when we're going through here and you got 7 notes, D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. When we get all the way down here and we find ourselves playing C sharp, which is D flat, F has 1 flat, B flat has 2 flats, E flat and B flat. E flat has 3 flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat. And then A flat has 4 flats, which is B flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, and then D flat. And then when we get through here, you notice that D has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, treble clef. We've got our B flat, our E flat, our A flat, our D flat, and then, you betcha folks, B, E, A, D. What's our next one? Well, we're not going to put a sharp, so what is the enharmonic equivalent of F sharp? Somebody in the comments section say G flat, for God's sake. I mean, Satan, can you hear me? What's going on here? So, when you look here, and we look up at the board, and we say, hey, Wago, which nobody asked me never. When I write out D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, I have the 7 notes of my scale. Even though we don't generally use these keys, we can also use the accidentals that music provides us to do music analysis and to navigate through minor keys. Now, this might be crazy for somebody to see, even thus who's been playing for a while, but when we play D major, there are 2 sharp, in fact, we don't actually do that. D major, there are 2 sharps. The sharp is F from the key G, and C. When we flatten all these, we get D flat, E flat, F, natural. But there's no reason to put the natural sign, because any note that doesn't have a sharp or flat is a natural. So that's a waste of time, cutting corners. This one, G flat it, A flat it, B flat it, and then C natural. So D flat gives you the 5 flats onto which we were just talking about. The mechanism of being able to go, G major has 1 sharp. That sharp is F sharp. How many flats does the key of G flat have? It has 6. G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F. Why? Because F sharp was the one that was sharp in the key of G. When we do a sharp here, we can find ourselves going to this key. How about we did do that? It would be D double flat, E double flat, F flat, G double flat, A double flat, B double flat. And what does this mean? It means a whole lot of nothing. Nobody you meet that's playing Wonderwall is going to talk about this. But when you really want to know music and why things vibrate and why the world works the way it is and how come the 60s was peace, love, and this and nothing transmutated from that. I mean, what we're looking at here is hypothetical. I just generally would never do a double flat key. Along with this, with the D sharp, D sharp's here. Well, D sharp is a key. D, E sharp, F double sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, and then she double sharp, giving you all of your accidentals. Double flat, flat, natural, sharp, and then double sharp. That is how we look at it from the, I guess, intermediate to advanced or college level, and it allows us to kind of look at notes for what they are and then see them as hypothetical. And as I aforementioned, when you start getting into minor keys, that's really where it starts to take hold, because you use that minor key to manipulate natural minor. And since I don't have a student right now, why not have fun? Freshly flowered. Let's see this. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Tom. 42? Absolutely. Did you read that? Or did you watch a movie? I watched the movie before I read the book, and then I listened to the audiobooks. It is so awesome to know that somebody took the time to do those books. If you have a problem with reading, I would say check out, if it puts you to sleep like me, it's kind of boring. Hey, what up, Gary? Try Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and listen to the unabridged version. It's very long, but it's lots of fun. There's many more stories that aren't actually in the movie. Even though that was a great movie. Really enjoyed it. Let's see here. Tom Long. Tom Long. Logan, how you doing, buddy? All my homies love Circle Fist. Yeah, my homies do too. My real homies. Gary, how's your day, buddy? Never understood the tuning of the ook. Can you explain it? On the guitar, it's the next string. Yeah. So here, let me just grab the ook. So when we play on any instrument like a guitar or an ukulele, hi Jacob, how are you? I do, and I play the piano. I teach from the piano. Everything I do has to have piano with my students. I teach it as music curriculum theory for college level courses. I teach 3-year-olds up to like 85-year-olds, the same thing. It's fun. What we're explaining now is why a guitar is a guitar and why a mandolin or a violin or anything, can anyone in here taste sound? Does that make sense? I don't know. When I had braces on, and I had metal on here, I used to taste different things, and it turns out that some of the food we have has metallic elements to it, or it's ionized differently. Certain foods I didn't like eating, and sometimes it would spark my taste buds and stuff. So yeah, maybe you could taste music. I mean, I wouldn't put it past us to have 5 senses, and some of our senses are either wired differently or just advanced, or no, I don't know. I don't explain it. I can tell you this, that I've went my whole life with not really understanding why light is also a wavelength. And now that I understand music, it breaks my brain to understand that light is the same thing as music, just at a higher fluctuation that we can't fathom. Crazy. So the idea behind a guitar and anything that's tuned in something called force is this. When we have a scale in the Eastern ear, it has 4 notes for every 1 note. So when you have this note, there's a variation of what note is that? F. So if you got like, if I take the F flat and bend it, hear how it's closer to the F? Well, that is a microtone. Until it gets up to there. There are 4 resonant frequencies which make up oscillations called hertz. So the one that we do in the Western ear is called 440. Boom! Now, I don't have perfect pitch, I have relative pitch. Let's see how close we got. Ooh, so close! Boom, 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 boom. I was a major second off. So when we have A, it's a 440, which means the oscillation of that wavelength has a peak and a trough every 440 oscillations. So it goes wong, 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 wong. When you play this A opposed to this A, what do you think that one is? It's twice as high. 880. So the whole idea behind this, it is math-based. You don't have to know math to know this. When tuning an instrument in the Western world, we tune it to force, which means our scales are derivatives of 7 notes and intervals which are equally spaced. The reason why we have tonation like is because the intervals betwixt those are whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Thusly, it kind of gives you the ability to taste those intervals. Any instrument you do it on will be derivatives of a major second, which is a dissonance. It doesn't sound great, and then we would have another dissonance, but it doesn't sound too terribly bad. It's another major second, and then we've got a big dissonance, a minor second. Well, when we play 2 dissonances together, I don't think that's a word. Could it be? Who cares? When we play 2 of them together, it's called a major third. When we shorten that distance, minor third, major second, minor second, tonic. So the whole point of this is you don't just have 7 notes, you have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This alternate scale is called the chromatic scale. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, B sharp, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. That's exactly what we started this video about, talking about how to get from one point to another vertically. You can also go horizontally, but the whole point is to go slow, not go fast like I'm doing. What we're explaining, going up to the 5th fret, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. That was 4 intervals. E goes to F sharp goes to G sharp, and G sharp goes to A. The next string open is an A. That's why this is tuned to force. Every string, when you go up to the 5th fret and play it, makes the string above it. until you get to the G string. It only goes up a third. G, A, B. You don't go to the fifth, you hold that B, and because it's up a major third, the next note is B. That's how we do fine tuning and get really nice in pitch. And then the last one, it goes back and reverts back to C, C sharp, D sharp, E, and that E, d'artes. So when we have a nice open tuning, we fall in. The reason why not all these are tuned in fourths like that, it would make this major chord right here be played like this, which means, or a minor chord would be played like that, which means we'd have to play a major like that, and that means way too many fingers on the fretboard. In fact, it would lead to us not having this shape, and this shape is our major third harmony. And then everywhere you have a chord, that's in that chord, everywhere. So what we do, I mean, this is overwhelmingly too much to handle, I get this. But C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and C, all these chords can be found on my channel. If you're still learning how to play, I'm sorry to go fast. When we take these chords and we add fingers to them like that, you see how I had a minor, major, major. Well, each one of these, no matter where I play it, is gonna have this for a major, and it's gonna have that for a minor. So you start to see them like everywhere on this thing. And talking about notes on your beard than theory, I'm taking more notes on your beard than theory. Yeah, stress. I don't know, I've been trying to put oil in it. My wife is urging me to go to somebody that does something called manscaping. I'm very much looking forward to that experience as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, I dig the beard. I wish I could get off the whole idea of it being so gray. I feel so darn old. Thanks for being here. I hope that kind of, if you play with your teeth, it sounds like it tastes. I hear that. Hello to you, Junior. Junior, yep. So team, yeah. Beethoven, which had metal rod in his piano, felt a bit still composed. Yeah. Hear that. Also, the vibration, you could feel through that. I also heard that he took the legs off of one of his pianos. Also, he wasn't the only Beethoven to write music out of the family, and he wasn't the only Beethoven that was deaf. Isn't that crazy? That's like, I don't know, it's like Allman Brothers mystery lore. So kind of tasty music. If you had to put a pin on what music tastes like, what does it taste like? I don't know. I guess it would be on the genre. So the whole reason why the ukulele seems weird is because the ukulele was a derivative of the guitar. The guitar is basically made of something called the Cordova, and the Cordova type of guitar was a baritone guitar. It mimicked what a huge violin would have looked like, and it was rivaling like the mandola of the time, both Italian instruments. When they came to the United States during the whole idea of the slave trade and Americana history was made and the amalgamation of all the different peoples that make up what America is today, great and diverse, when all those cultures came together, we got instruments like the mandolin, which mimicked the violin. The guitar, because the Polynesian islands were so far from where land was, most of the people that set off on voyages did not have their instrument towards the end of it, because all strings before the Industrial Revolution were made from something called gut. They're called gut strings because you would take an animal, generally a pig, you would splice it, take its intestines out, wash them, you would cut them into threes, sun dry them, and then tie them, braid together, and then work them down until they became strings. That's how strings are made. In fact, most of the fine strings that are still made that way are very expensive today. The whole idea is the lowest string was the thickest string, and it was always the string to break. So they figured out that if you put the three strings, which are the guitar, but we move it up to the 5th fret, and we play the same chord that you would play down there because of the tuning and force, you get the chord of C major. This is our ukulele. When we play it here, this is what it looks like. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. So the whole this is a Gretsch. Very nice. I very much enjoy it. It's the G501 3C series. Got the great cutaway so I could go diddly, 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 diddly. And it has a nice solid foundation and a marker at the 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 and 12. Very weird. I've never had one at the 1 and I think at the 9. Usually it's like a double dot or something, but very cool. So when you play C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and C here, the reason why that G is a high G on a ukulele is you optionally now, because of the Industrial Revolution having strings of anything, you could get it with a low G, which is fun. But the high G persisted after the 1920s. So you have traditional style ook that has the high G on top, and then you've got a change. Where's the... I don't know what that means. Don't be dramatic. I just don't be a diva. I just suggested a trim. You know what? I just will as soon as I get a day. I got pigs to feed and I still have homework to do. Let's see. It's very fancy looking. You fancy? What kind of guitar? Yeah, it is. I feel like it's a super fancy guitar and it plays quite well. Do I have a pick around here? Patrick, name a song real quick. Put you on the spot. Or name a letter. Well, the south side of Chicago. Yeah, I think the sound works quite well with this. When you plug it in, I don't get a lot of feedback out of the sound hole. I don't know if it's because there's like a pick looking sound hole here. Tell you what, if you dig this and you are a person that has money, check out the people who host me. The name of the store that I rent a room for is called Big Island Guitars. They've got a website. I'm sure they ship stuff. If you want this exact same guitar, I think it's sitting on their wall right now. And they probably have one in a box back there. Give them a little ring-a-ding-ding. You know what? Thank you, Sajdeep. I like the beard. I try to keep it going. Why not? Does anybody have a request? Oh yeah, what is classical glass? What was it, D? No, that's a... Yeah, great tune. I haven't thought about that tune in forever. I'm walking on sunshine. Hold on. I don't know that song well enough. All I know is it from Futurama. That's the only one I remember. I did. I have perfected sloppy by ear playing. I have mastered the fretboard as far as understanding where the notes are. I know every single chord for every single equation, and now it's just practical application on how to see how all the puzzle pieces fit together. And because I'm a slow learner, this might take the rest of my life. But I really enjoy it and learning new stuff. I mean, Purple Rain is probably reserved for the piano. What key is it, a G?
And most of my exposure to songs like these, they're just fun because I love them and I've heard them being played throughout my whole life. So you hear them, you know. If you hear a song 7, 8, 10, 15 times and you're used to playing in the key of A and you hear that it's in the key of A, you can definitely play it in the key of G. You just might not have the right tonality. What up, Woogie? Voodoo Child. Which one is that? Is that the one that's like... Nah, I'm thinking Wind Cries Mary. Never mind. I tell you what, I love the Jimi Hendrix experience with the full band, you know, with everybody, but I never was a big fan of like the spooge fest that was Jimmy. Although, it's very interesting. It's very good. No Love by Exodus. You know what? I should be writing these down. If you're new to this channel, the whole idea is I don't know anything or everything. So what I do is I get this little book, and if I see a song that's just interesting that I've never played before, I just do a how-to video on it. And the last one I have, and I've got what was the last one I had? Oh, I did it already. My Blue Heaven. Hey, and that was fun too. There's 2 versions. One's Gene Austin's back from like the 19-whatevers when, you know, that was happening. And then there's one where Fats Domino did, which was different key, played in C sharp, which is cool. It was like this kind of like that. The other one's a little bit more what's the word? Vaudeville. So No Love. No Love by Exodus, huh? I did not know of a band named Exodus. Is this going to be a deep dive for me? I do hope so. Walking on Sunshine. I'm going to have to actually figure out how to play that. Walking on... If anybody has never heard of the television show called Futurama, and I don't think you have to be an adult to watch it. It has adult themes sometimes, but it's good thought experiments. It's at least better than Rick and Morty. Walking on Sunshine. I have no clue who sings it, but I'll figure it out. Can I play Piano Man? Yeah, is that Billy Joel? I love this. That every time I play a song, I always get... copyright strikes, and I wish that when you cut out songs from your videos, like the copyright strikes, that they would give you the opportunity at least to put that on like a different site or a playlist onto which you would at least be able to look at the videos that you've done. I've done so many really fun videos like this, but every time I get one, I try to cut out the songs that they have issue with in case I get in trouble for it. I don't want to get in trouble with it. Oh, by the way, what's up, Loco? I saw that Peace Train. I played Peace Train on bass when I was 19 or 20. Wait a minute, it's not in D. It's in C! Ugh. Yeah, I know no words, so I need the words. Give me a second. Piano Boy? Piano Man? Chorads? I can't spell either. Ha ha ha! Oh, sing us a song, you're the Billy Joel. Oh, has anybody ever heard of Dick Cheese, Richard Cheese? If you haven't, stop watching me and go check out some of Richard Cheese's. No Love by Exodus, very nice sounding. Acoustic, classical. Oh, groovy. Excellent. I love getting turned on to new music. It always blows me away. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in, and this old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic engine. He says, "Son, can you play me a melody? I'm not really sure how it goes, like 100 verses long. Fun, yeah? I modulated. I couldn't make it back. My bad. All right. Dude, I started teaching myself piano. I always want to learn Far Away. It's kind of a dubstep, a really nice chord progression style. I never found a notes or case for it. Oh, all right. Let me teach you. Far Away, like 3H. Heck. See, I'm too old to understand what that means. Damn it. Far Away. H3. If I just type that, will it come in? TC, I took. I think this is it. Old version, I would assume. Is there no cussing in this? I hope there's no cussing. This channel's a cuss free. I keep my, I do my students on this channel here. All right, this isn't intent. It's sampled. Overtone. So there's a miss here. They're playing B flat major into F major, and then to an A flat major. So called G sharp. What key we're in? If we're in the key of B flat, that would be an A flat. So it's out of key, unless we're in the key of A flat. So it's a 2. No. Darn it. What am I doing here? B flat, A flat, G minor. That would be a minor then. E flat major, E flat major, F minor, G minor, A flat major, B flat major, C. So, okay, you're in the key of E flat or you're in the key of C minor. It makes more sense to think of this in the key of C. What up, Will? How you doing? Oh, I'm just hanging out off and on. Rip you a B minor 7. Cool. B minor and then a 7. You want a minor 7 there. In the key of B major, all music is viewed through the eyes of the major. So we have B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. To play a B major, it's B, D sharp, F sharp. Flattening any median or the third gives you a major into a minor, and then putting not the major 7th, which is gorgeous, but putting the minor 7th. And if you're interested about that other chord, that's called a B minor major 7. Ba-down, ba-down, da-da-down. You're welcome, Eddie. Thank you. I hope that made sense, unless you're not want to. Yeah, I just don't want to cuss. I won't listen to the whole thing. But Patrick, are you the one that asked me about those, or was it Sure Deep? Or was it Team Alex? I'm gonna call you Alex. So that was a B to an F major to an A flat major. And there's a little stuff going on. And because you could play the relative minor each one of those, the relative minor of the E flat is C. That's what you're hearing over the top of that. So you got this like a. Is that good enough to start off and play with? C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. 3 black keys. Sorry, my piano. My stupid face. D flat, A flat, and B flat. Hey, dude. Will, how you doing, man? How's your day doing? I had a lot of fun watching Live High or Die the other night. I like the sports. I'm not a big fan of sports, but I do like your segment on sports. Fair enough. Can you give a shout out to my name is Lu, let's see, let's look up there. Luiva? Yeah, Luhala. And it's a H, right? Luhala. Lujala? Luhala. Luniva Sharetha. Nuliva Sharetha. Yeah, well, shout out to you. I hope you're having a good day. Luhila. Can I write you a song? This is for Luhila today. Cha-cha for you. Can you give a shout out to me? C minor, B flat major, F major, and E major. Yeah, I mean, the E major is the turnaround chord. It wouldn't necessarily need to go in there. B flat major, F major, A flat major, and then E flat major. That E major is close. If you take E, G sharp, and B, and you flatten each one of those. Oh, that felt like Zelda. Felt like I just opened a doorway or a treasure chest of love. I miss being a kid. Anyone else? Anywho, Saltwater Cowboy, how you doing? Hey, 19. What is that, Steely Dan? Absolutely. Doing things by ear. Hey, if you're super impressed, that's great, but it took 30 years to learn how to do this. I'd really like to eat tomorrow. Anybody want to throw $1 in my cup? I take donations. I think I'm monetized now. Not sure. Can't figure out how to get it. But once I got that all worked out, it should be fun. Yeah, support me, support my dream. And every penny that goes into there, I basically put back into my students in this YouTube channel. What did we just say? Hey, 19? I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this. This is Steely Dan's hard. Of course it is. Because if Steely Dan wasn't hard, it wouldn't be good. In fact, the more you learn about piano, the easier Steely Dan becomes. I know that sounds like a dumb statement. Hey, everybody, the more you know. Also, yeah, these aren't always right. Oh my goodness. C sharp. C sharp, what is that? C sharp 7? Okay. Is that a +5? So it's an AUG 5 with a B in the bass. So why didn't you just call it? That's silly. Don't call it that. I can't remember how the phrasing goes. Way back when in 67, there was a tiny farm and I was a dungeon. That doesn't seem right. Gamma chip. Gamma chip. I'm gonna have to figure it out on my own. Those chords are wrong. Dun, 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 dun. This one's going in the book of things to learn. Because why not? You know what? I'm going to learn this one and peg. Peg! 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 What was this one called? Hey, 19. Yeah, I could play the hell out of these on guitar and bass. And never done on piano. Although I do know like Deacon Blues and stuff, but that's mostly because nobody ever plays it and I love that tune. I will learn that. Thank you for that, Saltwater. Sorry you're too fast. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. B flat major, B flat, D and F. And then we're going to have our next chord, which is our F major, which is going to be F, A, and C. And then when we play the A flat, along with any other chord that's on our piano, one of the really cool things I think we'll show here if you're just noodling around piano, anytime you throw out a Hawaiian shaka, and you put your note on any key and then put the 5 notes in between it, you get a spread. This is your 5 notes up. If you did it on black notes, you would still get the same spread. It's a little weird, but here's what I like to show you. When we talk about chords or tertiary harmony, we're talking about a dyad, which is a major or a minor third, depending on where that note is. When we play a C major to a C minor, this common tone chord or substitution allows us to see how C major and C minor are the 2 closest triads out of any other chords on the piano. So when you play every scale, you know 7 notes, right? Doesn't matter what the scale is, you add those scale notes we were talking about over there on the board with the circle O fifths. Well, when you play white to white, black to black, white to white, black, 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 da, 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 every single one of our triads has that equation. So no matter where you put your hand, like on this A flat, you would go from that A flat to the D flat or the E flat. And what happens is you either choose major or you choose minor at that point, moving your median one way or the other. That's a great way. The only 2 triads that do not do that, C major, C minor, D major, D minor, da, 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 all of them do that except for B flat. It goes from black key to white key, so B flat to F. And then, oh, that's cool, that was like 2001. And then B natural. So if you can remember every note, except for B flat and B have white to black or black to white, then you'll be able to at least figure out where your triads are. That's a very, very cool trick. So F major, B flat, and then A flat, and then pick your major and minor. And over the top of that, C minor, C, E flat, and G throughout the whole thing. November Rain, who was that? Is that the Beatles? I'm just joking. I know that's Amy Winehouse. That was a joke, by the way. I hope everybody here doesn't lose their stuff over that. Can you give me a shout out? We've already been there, but oh, Mixie Clips! Thank you very much. Squid Game song. Is Squid Game the here? You threw money my way. I'll do what you want me to do. Let me listen to it. Squid Game. Squid Game. I heard the Squid Game is about like blood and guts and doo-doo, and frankly, I don't really watch anything that's like that. So I have no clue what this should sound like. But I guess it's just gonna be what do I put? Title song? Title sang? Sometimes we need some squid on our own. There it is. Ooh, everybody needs some squid. Meow, meow, meow. Chord, eighth, eighth, eighth. So this is in G flat Lydian? 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5. No, it's not Lydian, it's Phrygian. Unless it was... close, that's a good one. Kind of sounds like White Lotus too. I like it. So it's kind of like a little amalgamation of like percussive tunes. I heard a vibraphone and a woodblock in there. Very cool. Thanks for that suggestion. I'll look at that later. Mixie Clips, thank you for the $1.99, man. That really made my day. I appreciate you. If anybody else wants to hear a song or wants to have a crack at this, basically I use years worth of musician nonsense to not take myself seriously. I am 45. Although I did feel like 43 2 months ago. I've had the last 2 months age me. A lot more gray. Yeah. Peace Frog, cool. Peace Train, I guess 39. Really? Thank you. Super nice. I guess until the last 4 or 5 years, I've looked like I was 17 or 19. My whole life, I've looked like a boy. But I guess getting beaten by the world is really put a little gray in. You're 42? Right on. Yeah, too much gray for being young. Although middle age now really isn't middle age. Practically, if I live twice my age, I'm going to be pooping myself, which is going to be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to that experience. Sell it hot. I do. I don't think the hair is ever going to go away. In fact, I just saw my dad for the first time in a long time, and he still has all of his hair. So I think I got this damn rug on my head for the rest of my life. Explain, you got, thank you for explaining. You got to go. Oh, aloha. Auf Wiedersehen. Be well. Come back, subscribe, become a member. Help me learn more German. I've got one German student. He went back to Germany. He's a good dude. I hope he grows up to be a good man. I'm sure, yeah, I think a few of those. Bye, Alex. Charlie Brown theme. Honestly, I don't know if I'm chord enough to play that. If I did it in C, what is it, in C sharp? I wish I could play better. That would be a fun one. Let me write it down. In fact, I hardly get the chance to play the piano. I do it every once in a while here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is shameless. I'm trying to get watch hours so I get 4,000. I'm about 100 away. I'm trying to have fun and teach a little bit of music at the same time. Saltwater Cowboy, Supertramp has some of the best keys. Agreed. Singing the lyrics though is hard sometimes. Over the top of a lot of those songs. Because they're just so darn smooth. Bro, what would you recommend for someone who wants to start playing piano? Got a roll in, but honestly don't know where to start. Oh, just check out my channel. Type in piano or Wago. I'm not the best, but if you go to something like David Bennett or Warren Loves Piano, stuff like that, it might be over the head. So the best thing I can say is this. There is no right or wrong way to play anything, and having fun understanding basic music theory. There are 12,000 videos on this channel. If you watch one of them and it explains you the piano aspect or the circle of fifths or how to sight read, kick it back. Come back to the channel. Become part of the music membership, you know? I think it's $1.99 and all of it's free for the members and everyone all the same. However, I'm deciding what my members want. So if you get on here and you're a solid member, then I'll basically show you and teach you how to do anything. Right now, since you have it in your possession, let me do a little fun here. I'm gonna move this and give you just a personal lesson on how to start off and what is, I guess, the most important thing in learning a 5-minute lesson. Let me see. What was your name? Thomas? Thomas, you still there? You watching? I hope you are. Hey, man, I just want to let you know that you're doing an amazing job. I suck at playing it too. Just keep going. Remember, what we're talking about are chords and tertiary harmony. And the more you learn the circle of fifths and stuff like that, it all eventually comes together. It's called muscle memory. Oh, yeah, it is. Guns N' Roses, isn't it? Hi, John. How are you doing? Mr. John Walls. I am from Hawaii. Originally, mainland, Missouri, Nashville, California, yada, yada, but definitely didn't spend enough time there to make it my own. Can't fart in the shower, blame it on somebody else, and there's just 3 people there. Johnny, I hear that. Fart in the shower with other people is like a fart in a hurricane. Trying to explain yourself. Unless there's a 4th and they're taking notes, I wouldn't worry about it. Jay, jump on the Van Halen chords, maybe. I don't know what, that Van Halen? That, That's it. Hi, husband. Okay, sorry about that. I have a power. We're gonna have to buy another power cord. Sorry about that. I like the trolls. I hope they enjoy this. You look like a badger. Thank you. Does anybody who know who the head badger is? In fact, if you know who the head badger is, I will send you $1.99. Could you try playing some Alpha Mist on the name? Keep on the name of the track, Alpha Mist. Alpha Mist, huh? Oh, ALFA, cool. I'm just gonna pick like the first thing I see. Avoid the dreams, or avoid the drones. So this is in B flat minor, or a D major actually, I think. No, it's a D major. And it's using a major 7 arpeggio to move over the top of it. All right, Thomas, you still with me here? Could you try playing some Alpha Mist? Atomic plays. This is a Casio. I'm gonna have to do a recap on Alpha Mist. In fact, I love doing stuff like this because you guys turn me on to so much music that I just don't know, I've never heard of. Maybe I should get out more. This is a Casio, and this is the CDP S160. I like it. It has a good versatility. You could put multiple sounds on at once, and when you double layer stuff, you get a lot of fun. The piano suspension, the pedal that you put down is easy. It's a 1/4 inch, and you can do as cheap or as expensive if you want. Cool. Please keep on his name of the list. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll put that on there. And then Supertramp, Logical Song. Let me write it down. Supertramp, Logical. Supertramp, Logical. Oh, Rick. Logical. Why does this sound familiar? Logical. Olivia who? Shut up. Also, that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. I've written over 4,000 songs. At no point did I name any of those songs Stairway to Heaven or Carry On Wayward Son or, November Rain. I don't understand how people that are playing music that write garbage 3-chord songs have songs named after famous songs. Like if I wrote a song called Piano Man and I had people playing with me, don't you think one person would say, that's a Billy Joel song, dummy. Don't name it that. I don't understand that. It's so weird. All right, I'm gonna write down as many of these. Keep throwing these in here. What I do is I go back through these live things and I write down all the song suggestions, put it in my book, and I learn how to play them. Thomas, are you still there with me? I want to give you a little piano crash course so you see what the best thing to do is when you're starting off. When I was young, it seemed that A flat major life. Oh, I know this song. No. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. Oh, America. Oh. Ugh. Oh, that's a great movement. Meow, 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 meow. Happily. And then all of the bells of Jesus singing so happily. Oh, ooh, A minor 7 flat 5. Why wouldn't they just say diminish? Where's it go? I'm gonna have to learn this one. This one's badass. I haven't thought about Supertramp in forever. Oh yeah, I say badass now. A-Z. B-A-D-A-Z. Art Thomas, you still there? Good God. Here, bro. All right, good. Here we go. When playing, there are 88 keys on a piano. If you go from here to here, you're speeding to the middle. This is called middle C or C4. If you throw me up two solids, solid. You can put one hand on a grouping of 3. Most people know. Well, go to the grouping of 2 with the other hand. Anytime you see 2 black notes, you will be able to find C. C1, which you probably can't see. See what I did there? Double pun. C2, C3, this is middle C or C4, C5, C6, C7, and C8. When we play in the key of C major, it's all the white keys. What I just did is called a compound octave because from here to here is C to C. When we play 1, 3, 5, it does not matter what fingerings we play 1, 3, 5 with or what note of that 1, 3, 5 is on the bottom. They're called inversions. This is a C major. This is a C major in a first inversion. See how the E is there? And then when we go to second inversion, it just starts with the G. These are called intervals because this is a consonant. It sounds good no matter where you play it. And you know, it's hard to not play when I get in the groove. Sorry about that. So, C, E, G, C. This is called an arpeggio. And it expresses a major third, a minor third, and a perfect fourth. The reason why this is important is because when you take that basic concept and you sit at your piano and you play these notes back to back and you have fun with them, you find yourself looking at notes that work together as part of a series. That part of a series allows us to see constructions of notes, and that constructions of notes is based off of our circle O fifths. So if you have it within you, take 5 minutes to Google my stupid name, WAGO, and the letterings of circle of fifths, which is this. But what I wanted to show you the whole point about music that you learn through any good instructor would show you that the whole point to learn 3 different equations of how to view music, circle of fifths, like C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, you can keep doing the whole thing, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and here's the idea. You don't need to know what any of this means to be able to do this. 1, 4, 5, 2, 6, 3, and then 7. This is our 7. These are the minors. These are the majors. Whatever key you're in. This is the key of C. When you put C on middle C, this is C4. The next C is going to be up an octave, and it's called C5. This is the landmark series. And this is what you're going to need to Google. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you. In fact, Google my silly name, Wago, W-A-G-O, type in landmark, watch me talk about it if you like it. If not, there's millions of people. I suggest, Garrett with Music Matters, a gentleman from Britain who does a great job. David Bennett does a wonderful job. Christopher Burgess is a saxophone instructor, a doctorate, masterate. These individuals have degrees. Go ahead and watch them. They'll give you the same thing I'm giving. I just make it a little sillier and, I don't know, whatever. So, C,
E, G. Notice that the three notes we played there look like this, and we named them as such. C, E, sorry, C, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. The whole idea about learning the circle fifths, it allows you to add sharps going this way, so you can get increasingly darker in tone. And when you go this way, you go from darker tones to lighter relative tones. Now, these are the flats, these are circle fourths and circle fifths. And I know this is going over your head, but the idea is when you start off small and you learn how to just stack notes, what you're doing is you're learning how to play extended notes or stacking tertiary harmony. This was the aforementioned major third. This is a minor third. And then when there's no sharps and flats, that B becomes a major third because the distance between G and B is a major third. What does that mean? Out of those 12 chromatic notes, they make the 7 diatonic notes, and that is your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So by playing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7, we're engaging knowing that there's a half step between the 3 and 4 interval in every key. When you do that, that's what gives you sharps and flats. So the whole idea of playing the piano starts like this. You don't know what you're doing, then you finally have a grasp on what it is, and by the time you learn one thing, your brain gets broken into learning a new thing. If you play like Frankenstein, you will figure out how to play music. I teach all ages how to do this. People who have been struggling to play rhythm-wise for years will learn how to play. If you can do this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 1. Really rocking now, aren't we, folks? If you could do that, that turns into... It does. It just does. So the aforementioned 1, 3, 5, and then the additional major third. Do you see how when we do this, we're layering up in thirds? Well, when we do something like this, 1, 3, 5, 7, and then 1, we get a arpeggio. So I would say that would be the first thing to practice. Do a rhythm down here, like play some harmonies. Minor third, perfect fourth. Try it with all your different fingerings, and eventually you're going to find the fingers that feel the best for you. Don't be afraid to experiment, to hear dissonance, and start to really like it, because once you like it, you can alter it. And there really are no wrong or right notes. You're going to hear all sorts of weird dissonances and stuff. Music, by far, is the best way to express yourself. And if you're brand new starting off, don't take any guff from anybody, because nobody really knows what they're doing until they do. David Bennett music, if I didn't already talk about that. What up, Bush? How you doing there? How you doing? Fan, I'm a fan of yours too. Thank you. I also love your instruction energy. Thank you. I really enjoy music. Ooh, I just got a private message from Floating. Are you trying to be like Charlie? Poof. I don't know who Charlie is. Are you sure that Charlie's not trying to be like Wago? I'm not Joshua here. Thanks for being here, buddy. Why what? Should I go the other way? I guess I should. All the cows eat grass. You know what? Subreap. I don't mix face or all cows or any good boys. One, why aren't there posters talking about good girls? Two, I don't want to bring cows or farm animals into music. There's already enough to learn with tertiary harmony and names and vocab. I don't understand why people do that. That nonsense on the boards there, because these were free from another music teacher gave it to me. Connor, nice to see you. Pomonas might be a complicated song, but I love playing What Dreams May Come. LTR, What Dreams May Come. What dreams may come. LTR, huh? I wonder if that's from the movie. Are you still with me, Fun Mix? I've got the Casio. Oh,
What do you think about the Casio? Is that same unit? It's a 88 weighted key, maybe? Hi, Camellia. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? It's been too long. I don't remember what descending chord I did. Sorry. Oh, were you talking about the do-do-do-do? It was. If you're talking about that, it goes down the descending chord. The second time I did, I read it went from C to F, and that's not how it does. It keeps descending. Absolutely correct. Yeah, octaves are called P8s or perfects. In music, the only notes you could have in a 7-note scale, what's viewed in the eye of C. C to D is a major second. C to E is a major third. C to F is a perfect fourth. C to G is a perfect fifth. C to A is a major sixth. C to B is a major seventh, and C to C is a perfect eighth. There are only majors when you play through a scale. Anytime you flatten any of those notes, major second goes to a minor second. Major third, minor second. When you do a perfect fourth, yeah, it can go to a diminished fourth, but we don't call it that. We call it a major third. Also, all of these can be augmented. Anytime you take a note like this one, and then you go up, it's called an augmentation. Anytime you take any random note and go down, it's called a diminishing. So that's how note structures work. So when you have like cool chords like A minor 7 flat 5 add sharp 11, watch this. Would that be right? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Here's our A minor. 1, 3, there's our minor third. Here's our flat 5. Our G sharp in the key of A is our major 7th. Here's our minor 7th. And then we're going to want to add an 11th. So in the key of A, our 11th would have been A, B, C sharp, D. We're sharpening that 11th. That sharp 11 is our flat 5. So it seems like you're seeing chordality and tonality with extended chords, and you might not even know it. The best part is when you get away from seeing the whole keyboard as being something you need to master, and you only kind of worry about this little section right here and have fun with it. Saltwater, thank you, sir. And again, don't take anything I say too seriously. Go check this out for yourselves. Use everything we talk about here as a foundation, and then support other local musicians at your own. Go wherever you are and get an instruction from somebody. Why not? Joseph, I didn't see your question beforehand, but why? I assume you're asking me why I'm doing what I'm doing. One, I'm a little mental, and two, left-hand crossover for release is a good example for scales. Did you want that or no? Is the left-hand? No, left-hand crossover for release is a good. Yeah. If you're doing it right, the way I read it in the book of classical music I had a left-hand octave move over. So after the, when it plays up your A, you're moving from the A to the A and then going up to the E, which means you're doing a P8 and then a P5. That's how the vocabulary, it's much easier to explain these movements and interval jumps rather than saying this finger here, this finger here, this finger here, this finger here. Especially when we're talking about chord structures and leading a band. If you're a musician and you're writing music and you wrote that music for, let's say, like the guitar and bass and drums, and you have to keep continually telling your guitar player to play this B diminished and they're not playing that one because it's too hard, they only play this one, you're like, hey, I didn't put that note in there because I don't want to hear that note. It's a passing note to another. Like, there's a certain point where I go a little crazy, and you have to let it go. There's no such thing as perfection. You can only have as much fun as you can. I hope that made sense, Thomas. If not, check out David Bennett Pan. I'm sure they're going to make some heads or tails of it. But don't bite off too much more than you can chew. Start with C major scales, and then play everything. Like, what I'm talking about is learn your scales, and then deconstruct them. Anywho, life is fun, isn't it, folks? It's a full-size, had it for ages. Oh, the Cass for Cole. Been playing for 16 years, started with classical music, then moved to electronic music, PC. Cool. Micro music language I use on a daily basis. Groovy. Do you ever get any of those little mini pads and like write like mini mini bursts for different instruments. I've been sound sampling, I think is what it's called. I wanted to try to do that too. I'm just not good with technology. I need help. Diminished chord shapes on guitar, on how many tips. Oh, every day you just do it. Learn everything in the key of C. The diminished chords that you use on a guitar, take every major chord, like let's say a D major. Don't worry about your E and A. You can use the A as a bass, but E definitely isn't in it unless you're gonna wrap your finger around, but there's no point to explain the below bass because all guitar truly is are the top strings with bass notes that are alternating. When playing a D, A, D, and F sharp, D major. When we move back the third, we achieve a D minor. When we move back the fifth, we achieve that diminish. Well, if you replace that note with your pinky and then put this down here, you've got nothing more than just a diminish or a 7 chord, which is why it's very interesting. When you play that chord, it goes into another. Like let's take the key of D major. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor. Yes, we can play C sharp diminish, but the A dominant 7, it gets the job done. Do you hear that? Na 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 na. Then to answer your actual question, you play it in every key. You do your diminished chord into your tonic or your root. In the key of C, you would have B, F, D, B. That chord, no outside notes, would move into C. Cool? Then take that same chord you did and move this note right now, which means if you know how to look at this through the eyes of these need to stay there, you're taking your D shape and you're just moving it down to this and putting a pinky down. Again, no outside strings. All diminished chords, at least for the most part, are played through here. I'll show you 3 different ways to do it in a second. This is called a diminished 7. And then when you move these two, so you can put this finger back on the G sharp and this one covering where you were. Good God, folks. Here are the 3 different examples. TV 120, V20, so the code will look like this. I don't know what that code, oh, the inverted code for the 80 cents music, but the modern will just rewrite piano songs and music codes. So the monocode, the music code would be T80. See, I don't understand what these would align to, but I'm unbelievably interested in whatever this is. I watched an hour-long documentary on music for the Klingons in a language that doesn't exist with the people that aren't real from Star Trek. And I learned how to play their modal scales, and my mind is blown that I care more about that than understanding what's going on in my own life. You know, it's fun. What up, Insane? Cool, check out your channel. Let me write it down. Fun mix time. Ooh, wait. Ooh, wait. Fun mix time. In fact, you know what? Fun mix time, I think I already subscribed to your channel. I think you sent something the other day that was super interesting about how pictures are put together and they look like puzzle pieces. Is that the same channel that I watched? If not, I'll find that and I'll send it to you. You'd like it. I know. Cheap Scratch. Cool. What time is it now where you're at? It's like 3:38 where I'm at. Okay, cool. My favorite instrument? I don't know. I play a lot of instruments. My favorite one that I'm teaching right now that I don't know how to play is sanshin. Although clarinet is interesting too. I'm learning how to play that while I'm going. Sanshin is a 3-stringed instrument from China, Mongolia, Japan. It originated Japan, more like snake skin, cat skin, dog skin with a little shell, turtle sometimes, and then 3 strings, which is played with a huge plectrum pick. Very cool. It's kind of weird too, because this tuning is like octaves. It's fourths, so you have a C, F, C. That's a normal tuning. It's kind of weird. Kalimba, yeah, playing it out. That's so fun. I'm down with anything. I own probably 20, 30 instruments. If I have an instrument, I learn how to fix it, and then I give it away. That's a vina. It's an instrument from the Middle East. It goes with my sitars. A bunch of different violins that I'm fixing. Some balekas. I teach harp, ukulele, bass, stringed instruments, violin, drums, most definitely. And then compositional music theory. And then I've got some kids that are under the age of 5 that just want to have fun. So I've got all these kids' music instruments. through the course of my reality here on island, I've started to acquire books like these Hawaiian books, which have thousands of songs, onto which I'm learning how to speak Hawaiian, which is called Olelo, which is extremely hard, but lots of fun and rewarding. And then I'm collecting books like this. I've got 3 or 4 more boxes. And our whole goal in this is to create a music community and take all of the time, energy, and love that we have for music. And then have a safe space for people to come and play music here on the island, providing a stage for people to hang out. So if you're watching this right now and you dig on this, maybe put a couple bucks in our tip jar. If you like what you've seen and you want to request a song, maybe do that. I don't really know how to do super chats or gifts and all that stuff, but if you you got the the pockets and you could dig deep by gifting memberships, apparently you could do that here. They go to people that are in the stream. So if you're hanging out and somebody buys the gift things, they go to people who are here, which means more people tune in for the membership. So rather than me asking for people to just subscribe and just become members, maybe figure out what you want to do for like a month or so. Pick an idea and let me help you get to that goal. When you become a member, I take special attention to anybody who has a green name. So when I go through my mix right here, I'm looking, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, Camp G-May. Go check out their channel. Hey, thank you, Rachel, for being here and moderating. Wookie, W-O-O-K -key. Wookie's working on music themselves. They're learning through this. Wookie contacted me after being a member, gave me a little video of themselves playing. I watched it, gave them a platform on what they could try to do, and within 3 or 4 weeks, they're writing music. I'm ecstatic. So the whole idea is we're here to have fun. If you're not already walking on sunshine, oh well, depression's hard. If you deal with depression like most of us do, music is a great way to get out of it. Let's see here. I have so many questions. What time is it where you're at? It's 10:30. Cheap Scratch. How do I save your channel without... I don't know how to save it. I'm just going to take a picture. And then so I took a picture and turned off my phone. I think this was my first time. Cool. Yeah, put that there if you want to. Thanks for being here. Kalimba is very fun. Violin, if you are a string player, I would suggest learning the mandolin. We talked earlier in this video about tunings of fourths and tunings of fifths. I guess full circle. Yeah, there's Wookie. I guess I learned more music in a month than... Thank you, Wookie. And the honest idea is when you have somebody that's paying attention to what your needs are, it's easier to direct focus, I would say. I plateaued playing pentatonics, and I got teachers that taught me how to do a little bit of what I'm doing now, and the rest is just self-taught. A little bit of college, too. Cool. Well, Anton, it was good seeing you here, man. I hope you have a better time with that. Is this, is that a feet piano? Is that a feet piano? Like a finger piano? Feet piano. No, I wish. Are you talking about like a B3? Where? Oh, over there in the background? No, that's another teacher's piano. It's like one of those wall pianos, too. It's got a slight bend in the piano board. Some of the keys stick, and I can't have my kids play on pianos that have more than one pedal. They'll just be there stomping on it and breaking it. That's how kids are. So I can't use that one. I have to use one that's a Casio, which is fun. It's a great one. Bye-bye. Well, let's see here. Is it? No, it's not a feet piano. What does that mean? I don't even know. Tell you what, I've been streaming here for probably an hour or two. I've met a lot of really cool people. Got a lot of thumbs up. I hope I've gotten some thumbs down. If you don't piss off a couple people, I think you might be doing it wrong. At least that's the way I think about it in life. Apparently, I wasn't great enough for Anton, which I hope they have a great rest of their life, but I won't know because I banned them from the channel. They'll never be back. And if they are, we'll deal with that. I will check out Cheap Scratch tonight when I'm off work. Hopefully that it won't. I never got a chip chat back from you, buddy, so I don't really know. Yeah, especially with the draws. If you have a really nice one, like the Nord that has the draw bars is fun because you can switch between it. But if you're playing traditional, woohoo, it's hard to remember how to do that. Plus the like B3, the foot organ, and then go through. If you ever really want a real good treat, what is that song? I assume it's Beethoven. whatever song that is. I can't remember what that is. I saw an organ player played it. It was really great. Some old Terno. It's a Brazilian band. I could write it down. I don't know any of it, but here's the thing, my friend, Louis. Oh, it's good seeing you, Louis. How are you? Luis, yeah. If I don't know it, I'll write it down, as you know. Oh, Terno. It's a Brazilian band, groovy. I wonder, Brazilians, close to that's Portuguese. Brazilian, Portuguese, very close. I wonder what Terno means. Terra is Earth. No clue. In the hall. In the Hall of Mountain the King. Oh, yeah. Something like it. Is it Tchaikovsky then? I always remember. Or Dance to the Sugar. It's a Brazilian band. Cool. I will check it out. Brazilian band. Excellent. I'll tell you what, I got a couple more minutes. There's 8 people hanging out right here. Does anybody have a song about what was covered here? If you just popped in, we were talking about how to understand half steps, what enharmonic equivalencies are. We basically went over to the board, we looked at the circle fifths and how to write out notes, and we talked about tertiary harmony. One of our subscribers asked, you know, what's a good first lesson? And I told them, when you go to the piano, just try to, you gotta find the 7 notes of in the key of C and then start working on harmonies or dyads. The best way to go through it is just to start hearing them and get accustomed to them. And then if you could start doing something like this, you get 2 different versions of like Frankenstein, right? So if this hand could do this, and this hand could go, it turns into like, you start turning all those notes into rhythms. The hardest part is doing the rhythms. The easiest part is actually just sitting down and playing the chords. It just takes time, lots of time. The Aristocrats scale song would be a fun learning song. Aristocrats, really? The joke? Isn't that a joke? I didn't know that was a song. Or is that the song from a movie? I remember there's a Disney movie or something with cats. I can look it up. Aristocats? Yes. Okay, Aristocats. Yeah, I'll look up that song. Theme, maybe? Groovy. Genesis, what's up, yeah? That's a cool screen name. How'd you do that? You're special. I like that. Let's see here. If anybody is digging on this, become a member. It's like $1.99, or there is one out there for like $39.99. That's for you fat cats that have jobs and money. If you believe in this old man following their dream at 45, do it. That just means as soon as I've got enough money to buy a plane ticket, you know, take the songs I have in the recording studio and come to your local state and meet my friends from YouTube. Our music community is really where it's at. There are folks that we talk to every day and then watch their channels when we get off work. It's like a really cool community. I am a teacher. I teach here in Hilo for 3 days a week, and then the other 3 I do labor, like building houses and construction. It's very cool. In Hilo, especially Big Island and Hawaii, things are a little different than on the mainland. Everything moves a little slower. People are a little kinder. We have something here called Aloha. And the long and short of it is I don't really teach music as much as I teach critical thinking skills. I make it possible for people, young and old, to see outside the box so they have more fun and they're more creative. I try not to take myself too seriously, and I try to remember everybody's in pain, and I try to ease that suffering of pain by showing compassion. Kind of look like a teacher I had in school, went to the psych ward. If you give similar vibes, that's a good thing. Right on, Genesis. Thank you for being here. I believe when you fall in love with you, it'll be for butter. What song is that? Stevie? Oh man, I just got somebody said I cracked them up. Good. Sometimes I try to be a goofball. What is that song? Stevie Wonder? It's probably I Believe. I believe when I'm falling in love. Phil Walkman. Who is this nonsensical? Excuse me. Oh, it's the whole thing. What key is this in? No way it's in C. Stevie doesn't write in the key of C. Shattered dreams, worthless years here
a hollow shell. Life began and now was dawn. Now I stare into a cold and empty well. The many sounds that meet our ears are on our side, behold. We'll open up our aging hearts and feed our empty holes. I believe when I fall in love with you, it'll be forever. I believe when I fall in love with you, it'll last forever. Without despair, we will share in the joys of caring will not be replaced. Well, what was then must never end. With the strength we have won't be erased. When truth I may we fall into the words in only pain. And words I speak of love to you will echo in your mind. I believe when I fall in love with you, it'll be forever. I believe when I fall in love this time, it'll be forever. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, I really had a good time today. I need to use the bathroom. I've been playing music for the last 2.5 hours. I have a student that I get the privilege of teaching here in about 20 minutes, and I want to put some food in my belly. Let's see here. Any quick questions? Are you is Lewis, can you show variations of an E minor, F major, C major, C7? I want to do something with these 3 chords. Yes, I can. And then I need to go. Dang, I wish I could support you with money. Hey, don't support me with money if you don't have it. Supporting people with money is for the rich. Altruism is where it's at. Go out and help somebody in your community that looks like they're bummed out. Next time you have $5, look around and pick the person that's not smiling and just hand them and walk away and giggle. They now have $5. All right, you watching my fingers now? What'd you say? E minor, F major, C major, and C7. So if you're trying to rock this out, it looks like you're trying to play in the key of C major. And then you're using C as a 1 dominant, which is great. So I would just show you this, showing you the key of well, yeah. Is this still the bass? Nah, yeah, and then treble, cool, so it's okay. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C major 7 adds the B flat. You don't have to keep it in root position. You can move it so you have E, G, B flat, C, or G, B flat, C, and then E. Either way, these are just ways that you would work the chord up. You would have something like... and feel all your different variations of it. That's the C7. C major, of course, you do the same thing. It just doesn't have an extension note. And then F major is F major with F here. And one of the other notes you were talking about there was your E minor. So if you move back a half step, everything, you get your E minor. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. Well, you could play them as intervals. Take the C and put it on top now. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. Or put the G on top. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. So when you're playing these, the easiest way to learn a song with those chords in order, if you want it that way, we would be playing E minor, F, what'd you have, C? Meow, 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 C, and then add the C7. But the easiest way to do that without moving back and forth is to use the inversions. So E minor, maybe take your B and put it down here, so you've got E, B, G,
When you go to your F, you just simply move that up. You get your F as a second inversion, C, F, A. And then when you go for your C, you move these two dyads back and keep the root. And then rather than moving it all, just use your other hand for the B flat here or up top. And if you don't want to do that, play this right here and then move your fingers over here. I usually play like this. Thumb on the C underneath, B flat, play the E, pinky out on the G. So when you're using this, you can move those in and out of order. I hope that helps for you, buddy. Buddy, I hope that helps you there, guy. Gotta go, but keep up the good words. Thank you, Genesis. Aloha. Made your day, having a rough one? Sorry about that, man. You know what? This is a music channel, but I try and help people out when I can. If I can't get an answer to you, maybe I could get you to a place. All I know is therapy really helps. There are no adults, only children that never grew up. And the long story short is if you dwell on something and only you carry that baggage, it does nothing but eat you from inside. So talk to somebody. And once you do, you realize sometimes that the problems you have go away. Even the really, really, really deep and heavy ones. My mom died last month. I did not have a relationship with them because they don't, how about this? We did not understand each other. And now I realize I carried that baggage my whole life, and now I miss my mom. But the idea is she'd be super proud of her boy. I did okay. I'm honest, I'm hardworking, and I don't take myself too seriously. If that's anything that could be a consolation prize in life, don't take yourself too seriously. Nobody cares. Only you do. And if you're going through depression, talk to somebody. That's the best way to get out of it. Or the second best way to get out of it, go do something for somebody. For me, I realized that giving free lessons and running music workshops and taking my every moment of my spare time that I'm not working, I devote it to teaching people music. And I can't tell you the amount of joy it's brought me realizing that this whole thing is not about me. It's about you. Thank you. She'll be missed. I turned out to be a good person, though. They did their job. I'm just bummed out that their way of thinking harms people, takes privileges away from people who deserve freedom, and they demonstrably, the things they believe in and the people they support are the core basis of why America is not great, never has been great, and will never be great until we underdo the Republican agenda and white Christian nationalists. Other than that, this is a music channel. However, I talk about what I want. It's my channel. If you dig it, thumbs up, put something cool in there. And then don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun. Go help somebody today. In the next 5 minutes, try to smile, take deep breaths. And you know what? There is also tomorrow. Dun, 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 dun. Aroha. All right. I got 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What time's my next student? And yeah, I believe when I fall in love this time, it'll be forever. How can we will share in that joy? Oh man, this place is a mess. Clean up. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. If you are a musician and you have a YouTube channel, put it in the comment section. I would love for people to check it out. Other than that, I have many, many, many cool new songs that I get to check out and new artists. And by taking the time to do it, I set myself up in my silly little studio right here and I put this out. Can you believe this channel's been around for... I've been doing these videos for 3 years. I've been around for 5 years, but I didn't do anything in the first 2 years or something. And then I accidentally let a video go, and then it got thousands of views, and I decided just to start putting all my students' recaps on YouTube. Once they're no longer my students, I open up those sessions for everybody to watch, and I just happen to like putting the nonsense that I talk about daily here on videos. So I have a lot of fun. Anyway, I don't think anybody wanted to know that. I just had explosive... Oh!